You're right there, guys. What's going on? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little stream for you. We're here to discuss the latest transfer news for Manchester United of the day. Most of it gash, but we'll get into it in this little stream here, guys. Thank you very much for everyone who's joining us live. And if you're on catch-up later, remember to smash that like button and get your thoughts and opinions in down below. Also, if you're new to the channel, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button and get yourself involved. Also, feel free to give us a repost or a share any way you can. That will help us out there. You can repost us on X. The link is pinned at the top of the live chat. Welcome into everybody who's in the live chat. Big ups Morton Christensen, Top Player, UK Strains, Aaron, Velvet Rhythm, Scott, Chris Byrne, Thornster, Thomas Brooks, Nick Pendragon, Aaron Spear, Matthias, Avram, Sanjay, Grateful Dude, Russell, Philip, and everybody else who's in here. Thank you very much for joining us. What a steaming load of absolute raw gash. It's been reported now that Liam Delap has decided to basically snub Manchester United and choose Chelsea as his destination. I'm pretty pissed off about this, to be fair. Not because he's a great player or anything. No. He's a good player and he's got big potential and that's cool and everything. Nice. He's all right, isn't he? Just got relegated with Ipswich, for Pete's sake. No, the real reason I'm so annoyed is it just really tells you where Manchester United are right now. Not only are we losing to Southeast Asian All-Stars, but we're also losing out players now to Chelscums. Chelscum's able to salvage their season in pretty much every regard. They obviously won the Conference League last night. They got the top four. And that's the difference, really. That's the difference. If Man United had won the Europa League final and not absolutely bottle-jobbed it against Spurs, there's every reality that a player like that chooses Manchester United. But because Chelsea are just in a much more stable position, i.e. finishing in the top four, and then also won a cup as well, and they're in Champions League football next season, the decision gets made for a lot of these players. So I'm gutted, really, guys. Not because he's a tremendous player, but just because it shows you where we're at. We can't even sign pissing Liam Delap from the Tractor Boys, mate. You know what I mean? Even relegated Ipswich Town Clubber doesn't want to come to Manchester United anymore because we are struggling. We are probably going to serve up a struggling season to whoever comes in. I mean, we might be able to challenge up there and get European spots, but there is every possibility it's a mid-table guff mediocrity again. Be much nicer, I suppose, to go and play a bit part role over there, maybe at Chelsea, and develop and obviously have Champions League football, European football, all that sort of stuff. It's a big draw to a lot of these players. So we're stitched up, guys. We're a complete gas mess. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was down to that Asian All-Stars game yesterday. You know what I mean? That would be enough to put any player off, wouldn't it? If anybody watched that, even though it's a bloody friendly or whatever, it's embarrassing stuff. Who wants to be a part of that embarrassment? So, yes, very disconcerting that it looks like Liam Delap has chosen Chelsea. I mean, nothing's been announced officially just yet. Avram Glazer says, trust the process. Avram Glazer glazes out. Thank you for the super chat. There is no process to trust when it comes to these glazers and these melts. Thank you for that, though. But anyway, so let's have a look at this, by the way, real quick. So this was the first person who pretty much discussed this, that Chelsea are closing in on a move for Liam Delap. This is Ben Jacobs from 16 hours ago. He said that United's lack of European football has weakened our position. Newcastle and Everton also held talks, but Delap's now leaning towards Chelsea. And then just a couple of hours ago, Ornstein's reported that Liam Delap's suitors are being informed that he's not joining them, amid preference to sign for Chelsea. Sources at the likes of Man United, Newcastle United, Everton and Nottingham Forest are now aware. 22-year-old is on course for Chelsea, subject to personal terms and release clause requirements being met. Absolutely friggin' gashtastic. So we've lost out on another good signing, to be fair. I think he would have been a good signing for us. I don't think he's a tremendous groundbreaking signing, and hopefully this just means we can go and do something bigger and better, like maybe go and get, I don't know, maybe Gyokeres could be convinced. It's unlikely, but maybe he could be convinced. That would be an amazing signing. And Mbeumo obviously is on the cards for joining the ranks as well. That would be a positive thing to try and spin right now, wouldn't it, to try and bring him in before anybody else snaps him up. Because it looks like obviously a lot of these players are going to be wanted by other teams, and teams that have Champions League football are going to be favoured. So, just absolutely gutting anyway. But yes, he's reported that's happening. Also, Fabrizio Romano, a couple of hours ago, just said that Chelsea are closing in on a Liam Delap deal as details of the long-term contract are being completed with his agents. Enzo Maresca appreciation and Champions League football made the difference as Chelsea are set to activate 30 million release clause. And that's another thing. This £30 million that we would have paid for this Liam Delap guy, and the £30 million that Chelsea are paying for him, that's very cheap in this current market for a sort of homegrown talent. 22 years of age, big potential. Piss off! There's a bloody fly in front of my face, mate. Goodness me, it's a glazer. Anyway, I wonder why my face was itching. There's a bloody fly flying on my face, mate. Anyway, so yes, where was I? £30 million is not a huge amount of money, really, to pay for a player like that, obviously. So it would have represented good value for money. It's actually the sort of signing that you could develop over a few seasons, and then if he's not really up to the mustard or whatever, you could probably sell him for a profit. It's like, it's not a lot of money, so it's just not really a gamble for anyone to pay that money in this market. It's not an £85 million Anthony signing. It is a £30 million punt for a young player who is probably going to keep that value for many years at the very least, and you could maybe even make a profit on him. So yeah, we definitely missed out on this guy. Whichever way anybody wants to paint it, people will say, I didn't want him anyway, he's Gesh. He's not really Gesh. He's kind of unproven, he's in the sense that he's only had a season. But did he look better than the likes of Rasmus Hojlund this season? Yes, he did. Was he in a worse team? He actually was even an even worse team than Manchester United, yet he still looked a heck of a lot better. And the age is on his side, and the homegrown status is on his side. So I think he probably will go on and do quite well in his career. I think he'll do well, and I think that's probably a player we've missed out on there. Just because we bottled the end of the season, the ramifications are massive. We knew there would be a difference in how we would be able to attract players and how much money we'd have to spend by missing out on the Champions League. And it's just showing its ugly head already, isn't it? It really is. Thank you for the super chat there, Matthew Lunn. Get in there, Matthew Lunn. I appreciate you, Matthew Lunn. How you doing? He says, I was just wondering how confident you are that the money players get will be put back into the club, i.e. transfers, or would it be spread out across things like for debt and for the new stadium? Yeah, for debt and new stadium, but also you're forgetting to line the Glazer shithouses' back pockets. That's another big reason, isn't it? So I don't think they will give everything that we sell back into the transfer kitty. No, mate. I don't see that happening at all. Maybe, I don't know if we're lucky, 50, 60, 70% of it might get given to the transfer fund, but a lot of it probably will be absorbed by other melt situations in the club like you've just established there, or essentially to line the Glazer shithouses' back pockets a little bit more. Thank you, Matthew Lunn, for your super chat there. Much appreciated, lad. We are going to have a big Q&A at the end of this stream, by the way, folks, so hang about. I'm just getting my spiel out here, and then we will dip into the live chat and see what everybody's saying. But let me just say my piece here real quick. Thank you for that, Matthew. Appreciate you. So, yes, that's what Fabrizio Romano said. They're closing in, and then just shortly after that, again, he gave another update. Thank you for subscribing there, lad. Nice one. If you're new, hit the subscribe. Fabrizio said that Chelsea are prepared to seal the Liam Delap deal soon after positive talks with the striker again this week. Delap gives his preference to Chelsea project and now expected to follow with formal steps, including a 30 million release clause to be triggered. Deal underway. So there you go. Represents good value for money. Could have been available for us. Would have probably signed for us as well if we didn't have such a shit season and finish 15th with no European football to offer. That's it. That Spurs game cost us everything, because with that victory we get Champions League football, and therefore we're able to bring in more players, and now we're probably going to miss out on this guy. Well, we are going to miss out on this guy, it looks like, and also we're potentially going to miss out on other players. Like if a Champions League style side wants to come in and put an offer into Brentford for Mbeumo, he's more likely to go to them than us, isn't he? So we've just been massively shackled now by the lack of football in Europe, and that's going to cost us. It could well cost us anyway. Okay, so very disappointing. Very bit disappointing news, but it's just sort of where we're at as a football club right now, unfortunately, and we have to sort of get real. The signings are going to be more difficult now, and we kind of have to just end up with what we end up with. We've got to try and do business early, though. We've done the right thing by meeting these representatives and having these talks and trying to agree personal terms and all this sort of stuff early, but ultimately the offer on the table is better elsewhere for the lad. So we've kind of got to immediately turn our attentions now to other players, other strikers up there that are going to come in and play that number 9 role for us, because we can't go into the next season with Rasmus Hojlund in the ranks up there. He's got to be sold. We've got to get a replacement. I don't mind maybe having Xerxes as an option as a backup, but he's not ready to be number 9. He's not proper number 9. Better in behind anyway. So, yes, we need to get somebody else. That's where somebody like Victor Gyokeres comes in. I guess you could say Osimhen, but he's going to want so much money, and he's probably a bit of an egomaniac prima donna. I just don't like that sort of signing right now. Maybe if we were I don't know, like some sort of Manchester Cheaty Galactico team, or, where you've just got lots of depth and all that sort of stuff, maybe he's the sort of guy you bring in just to get some goals in there. But for us, where we're struggling so much, I don't think we need a sort of ego player or a mercenary type player, and that's the sort of vibe I'm getting from him. So I don't think he's the option. Obviously we need to have a look at Mbeumo. He can play across the front three, but he's going to be somebody that's probably more likely to be playing sort of right side in behind the striker kind of thing. But certainly he needs to be signed now, doesn't he? If we can get him before anybody else sniffs around him, that'd be brilliant. But that's what we have to do. We have to turn our attentions elsewhere. I'll just put this to the live chat then. So let's just say Liam Delap's off the table. He goes to Chelsea for 30 million quid. They've got themselves a pretty good bargain there. No risk involved, really, and we'll score some goals on them. Who would you like to see Manchester United turn their attentions to? Who would you like to see us sign, realistically speaking, to be Manchester United's next number 9 goal scorer? Have your say. For me, it would still be Gyokeres, but I know that's not realistic. Why would Gyokeres come to Man United if we've not got the Champions League football and we just finished 15th? If potentially there's other offers in there, who knows? Maybe like from the likes of the Arsenal Hojlunds, or surely a lot of clubs around Europe want Gyokeres for the right amount of money, because he's an absolute proven goal scorer. I mean, his goal record this season is quite ridiculous. I know most of it's obviously in the Portuguese league, but still, if you can put the ball in the back of the net to that level, you can do it to a good level in the Premier League. I'm sure you can. So he's developed into a great player, and that's what we need. We need some goals. But it's not that realistic, I'll give you that. Okay, let's have a look at what you're saying. Gyokeres says he's Ruben's man. That's the only sort of little extra caveat that we get for the potential to sign this guy, is that, yes, Ruben Amorim has that working relationship with him, and that history, and potentially that does obviously help, if they go on well. By the way, we've got 265 legends watching, only 65 likes. You what? That's an Andre Onana performance right there. Give us a like spike with that flubber hand of yours, and don't be Andre. Hit the thumbs up, help us get to 100 likes. Also, feel free to share us around and subscribe and get involved. Okay, you're wanting Osimhen there, Pratikar, nice one. Osimhen. Stick with Rashford because he's Trashford, lad. He's a heads-gone merchant. He's got problems, lad, with his mentality at Manchester United. That's what it is. It's not about talents. It's not about history. He's done good things for us in the past. It seemed like as soon as Amorim came in, he couldn't be asked to prove himself to him. He didn't want to try. He just sort of gave up. And then he was sauntering around, and he was a bit lazy and unprofessional, and that's not what you need, mate. Especially when you're supposed to be one of the daddies in the team, one of the talisman, one of the senior players, and you're on the biggest money in the squad. I mean, sort yourself out, Rashford, lad. That's why we don't want him back, because of his mentality, his attitude. That's the only reason. If he had a professional, committed, dedicated attitude to us and was prepared to fight for his place in the side under Ruben, then we would stick with him, wouldn't we? But he doesn't seem to possess those traits, mate, unfortunately. Osimhen's ideal. We need goals. I do like Jonathan David as well. Brandon says you guys can have Jackson. Even Jackson has scored a heck of a lot more goals than any of our strikers this season, hasn't he? Weghorst. Gyokeres is a gooner. Unfortunately, maybe. Oh, no, Mike. Gyokeres pronounced Gyokeres. Yes, I know. I've already said that, mate. I've already said that. I just seem to go between Gyokeres and Gyokeres. Okay, mate? Gyokeres, you're saying there. Yeah, fair enough. David, and he's on a free. Victor Boniface. Luke CX, big ups you legend, how you doing? Doris the tea lady would do no worse than Rasmus Hojlund. Okay, PR says give me Cunha. Diallo, Osimhen, top 3. Bruno, you got him in. I mean, I like what you're saying there, PR Gaming. I like what you're saying. Roddy, that's what happens with a flubber hand. That's it. Errors happen. Just look at Andre Onana. Out with the old, in with the new. Victor Gyokeres, Osman. Gyokeres was the tier 1 option. Delap was the tier 2 option. Now what? Sully says, didn't the Saudi club give Bruno 72 hours? That was a sort of speculative guff story. Yeah, wasn't it Al Ali or Al Tittyfuck or someone? I can't remember now. But either way, they definitely have been interested in Bruno Fernandes. I don't think Bruno Fernandes is going to follow the money to Saudi, personally. Maybe if the offer's too good for United and the price tag's just crazy, so that it's convinced us to sell him, and we basically say to him, we want you to go because we want the money, then that could happen, I suppose. But surely Ruben Amorim does not want to have to replace Bruno Fernandes in this window as well as the other melts that we've got. We know what Ruben said about Bruno, him being so important to the team. If Bruno Fernandes left this summer, yes, we might get, 100 million, 120 million, and then we can go and buy players. But look how gash we've spent that money in the past. I would hate to think that we'd spend that 100 million, we'd lose Bruno and spend the 100 million on another Hojlund and an Anthony or something, you know what I mean? So that would be horrendous. How are we doing, young source? We're not doing too great, mate. Because we're just in a position where United can't attract the top talents, mate. If you've not seen it, we've basically, it's basically been confirmed now that he's snubbed United, Liam Delap that is, and now he's joining Chelsea for 30 mil. They got themselves a great player. And just on the Rashford stuff, I mean, people mentioning Rashford, why don't we keep Rashford? Rashford can play striker, but he's not actually the best striker. He's more of a left winger, if you ask me. He's better in a sort of 4-3-3 conventional sort of left wing side, cutting in, creating havoc and stuff, and taking players on when he's got the right mentality anyway. But for us, for Ruben's system, you don't really have that sort of a position properly. You're going to need 10s. You need 10s. I don't think he can play the 10 role as well, He's more of a winger. Get on the ball wide, create some drama. That's what I see him doing, and it's not really a great role that he's got at the football club. It's another reason maybe Ruben was quite happy to see him go out there. Otherwise, yeah, you could use him there, but he's not a true number 9, mate, So in this particular system, doesn't really work. We need players who are going to play the number 10s, and he's a bit gash, so there you go. But just on Rashford, so there is the news that Barcelona have been speaking with Rashford's representatives and they're interested in taking Marcus Rashford. I can't quite believe why they would want Marcus Rashford, knowing how bang average he is and also the amount of money that he gets paid. So that's a point of contention for me. Like, why would they even want him? That's what I don't understand. But if they do want him, great. That's one melter off of our books. I don't think Ruben Amorim's going to give him another chance. So we need to clear out. He's one of those players that generates us cash to put back into the team and also saves us money by getting those ridiculous wages off of our books. But there is a report here, which I find very hard to believe, guys. I cannot believe that this is true. And I don't think it is true, because it just sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? But this is being reported that Marcus Rashford's set to reduce his salary to join Barcelona. Yes or no, do you think that's true? I personally say no. But if he does, fair enough. But I think that he would want just as much money as he's getting at Manchester United, or he would want Manchester United to pay the difference basically for the remainder of the contract. That might be an option as well, obviously, because that's the problem with Man United players. The wages are so astronomically high that not many teams out there can afford them. Even huge clubs like Barcelona are going to have to think twice about getting an extra 350k on the wage bill each week. So yes, I think what's more than likely happen is they'll pay a large proportion of that sort of amount. Either that, or it will be factored into the transfer fee, and maybe they will match those wages, but they'll want him for 35 million or 32 million or something along those lines, because it's just too much money for anyone to pay Marcus Rashford weekly. We've pretty much proven that since he signed that new contract. He's been gash. So Rashford to Barcelona is picking up some steam. We know that he's wanted over there, it seems. I mean, there's some quotes here from Deco. Actually, no, not from Deco, sorry. Barcelona director Deco met with Marcus Rashford's agent this morning, according to Tijuan Marti. He's a player Flick and Deco really likes, says Mati Moretto. So, Deco and Flick interested in bringing him into the football club. If the price is right, which it's not a huge amount of money, Rashford could be had for 40 million quid. It's not crazy, considering the sort of player he is. You know he'd sell so many shirts over there just signing for them, and he probably will be given, you know, a lot of encouragement and accolades from the fans. They'll be loving that signing. But no, he might start well and do well, but I think fundamentally he's not going to do any good for them long term. I don't think he's all that, to be fair. I'm quite surprised they even want him. I would have thought Aston Villa makes a lot more sense for them and for him. But saying that, he seems to want that big move, that big ego move to a team like Barcelona. He loves playing for that big club, doesn't he? So that's what's interesting him. He's not interested in playing for these lesser gasher teams. Yeah, he's a Hollywood player. Zayn Mayassi, thank you very much for your super chat here, Zayn. How you getting on? He says, which striker to buy? Great mystery it is now. Future is clouded, piggy. Thank you, Yoda. We get Gyokeres. Well, okay, fair enough. I mean, if I was you, Arsene Hojlund, that is, I definitely would be looking to get in Gyokeres. He would be the guy. You've been crying out for that striker since, well, all season. You should have signed one in January, but there was a lack of ambition there. It would make a heck of a lot of sense if you know, you went and got him. If I was Arsenal, if I was Arteta, that's exactly who I'd go and sign. So it would make a lot of sense. I just hope that that's not on the cards. Because if it is on the cards, Gyokeres, unfortunately right now, as hard as it is to say, as a United fan, will probably choose Arsenal. It's a good project. Okay, they haven't won anything, and they're just classic bottle jobs, second place melts. But second place is better than 15th place, isn't it? And they did get to the Champions League semi-finals. They're sort of on the cusp. They always seem to be on the cusp. But they're sort of on the cusp of doing something quite special there with Arteta. It may well not materialise, but they've got a good set of players and a very good team. And they seem to just be missing one or two key players, like a proper striker. So if they could get him in there, he might solve the problems. He might get a heck of a lot of goals for them, and it would be awful. So let's just pray that that's not on the cards, but it probably is. It probably is. Let's just ask the live chat, guys. Where do you see Gyokeres playing his football next season? Do you think he would be playing for Manchester United? Do you think he would be playing for Arsenal? Sporting, will he stay there? Get your thoughts in, maybe somewhere else. Have your say, let us know what you think. But unfortunately, I think the odds are on for him to go to Arsenal compared to the chances of him signing for Manchester United. Unfortunately, Zane. Yeah, well, we need a striker more than Arsenal, it's clear. I don't know about that, mate. They sort of been playing like Moreno up there and stuff like that. I don't know. They definitely need a striker as well, don't they? They do. But we really need a striker because we don't even have a single player who can play up there and score goals. Big up Simon. Thanks for saying that, lad. Much love, much love. Yeah. Also interested in Luis Diaz as well. There you go. So they're looking to strengthen on that sort of left wing side there. Andre says he's going to Arsenal 100%. Manchester United cursed. Does look like it here now, D at the minute, mate. Arsenal, United, he's going to Arsenal, never United. You can see him going to Barcelona. I'd take Julian Alvarez in a heartbeat, by the way. Great player. He's coming to United. Chelsea come Newcastle. He does like Amorim, surely. Yeah, so that's it, really. That's sort of like the deal's hanging on by a tiny little thread, isn't it, there? And that's the Amorim link. If his relationship is that strong with Amorim, that he chooses Manchester United right now, then I think that tells you a little something about how awesome of a manager and a guy Ruben Amorim has the potential to be, if he can actually get Victor Gyokeres to Manchester United right now. And I don't think it would just be about money. Maybe we will offer him more money than anybody else because we're more desperate than anybody else right now. But I don't think it's about money. A player like that who's looking to sort of join a top side and make that big move in their career, they're looking to get some legendary status and trophies and titles, and you know they're doing it for legacy. They're not, well, some of them obviously are, but a lot of them I think are looking for a balance. Of course you want the most money, but you don't just want to go and play in some farmers league and get 600k a week when you can get, you know, a significant amount of money and play in a league that actually means something and obviously has a great history, etc. So it does have its own draw playing for like a team like Manchester United because we're massive and the history's ridiculous and we could still sign like really good players even though we don't have Champions League football on the 15th. But there's certainly an element of now we are not anywhere near contending with the Champions League teams for signings. If they want to really go in for a player like Mbeumo or Delap or, Gyokeres, then it's more than likely that they end up going to those Champions League sides because we're so far away. It's not like we finished 5th and we were on 6th, 7th outside the spaces. It's not like we have just missed out on Champions League. We actually missed out on Champions League by losing the Europa final, but aside from that, we finished 15th. So we're a team that's very much clearly struggling. And it's a very unappealing position to be in for a player to come and join us right now. Gash, mate, which is why gash bags like Liam Delap are choosing Chelsea over us. I mean, it absolutely boils my blood that United have got into this position. But it's happened. We used to be the team that was poaching everyone. Now you look at Liverpool getting Frimpong. They're going to get Gyokeres. They basically got the pick of the bunch up there, don't they? And Manchester United don't have... I don't know what we've got, the pick of the hunchbacks of Notre Dame? I don't know, we've got the pick of the absolute melters left over, it seems. It's a real frustrating thing. So, I'm pretty disappointed about it all, guys. Hey, we got Saeed TV in the chat. What's going on there, Saeed, lad? Fellow Manchester United YouTuber and legend. How you doing there, Saeed? Big up, lad. Welcome in the chat, mate. Hope you're doing well. What's your take on this Liam Delap guff? I mean, goodness me. It is quite possibly the most insulting bit of news, isn't it? That this Melter's turned us down and joined Chelsea, or is going to be joining Chelsea. It's pretty disappointing. But there you go. I mean, we have to get somebody better anyway. I'm not that bothered because he's kind of like a bit of a B-Tech Vardy anyway, and he came from non-league. You know what I mean? So it's like he's not got potential to be the best player in the world, but he is a good homegrown, valuable player who I think would probably add something to the squad in terms of goals, and also, not cost us the earth. That's it. He's a good value player. That's it. But if we're being honest, Gyokeres, if we're being honest, Osimhen are more important and better players to sign right now for us to give us what we need, which is experience in goals at the top of the pitch. Without that, we're going to be struggling again. That's the sort of key area for us, one of the key areas to highlight this season. The other key area is obviously the goalkeeper position. So if you improve the goalkeeper position and get rid of that Andre Onana melt and get a proper goalie in who can actually 10 goal and stop the opposition scoring, then that's going to solve a lot of problems. If you can get a striker in there to replace Rasmus Hojlund, that's going to solve a lot of problems, isn't it? If you could add 25 goals in the league, and that's obviously wishful thinking, but if you could add 25 goals from a striker in the league, that's going to be exceptional for this team. Yeah, you've got to actually create for them, and the team's got to play in the styles gash at the moment and everything, but you've still got to try and do that. So those are the most important positions to strengthen. Get in there, my son. Yes. Where were we, guys? Where were we? So, yes. Yeah, Deco and Flick interested in Rashford. He's been talking to the representatives this week. Rashford set to reduce his salary, as per this report. I find that very hard to believe. I think he'll probably... want the same money, and if not, then we'll probably have to be responsible for that, which is unbelievable, but probably will happen. Either that or it's absorbed in the transfer fee. And as I've said, these are the updates in regards to Delap. Positive talks taking place there, and he's going to join Chelsea, isn't he? It's a nightmare. Ornstein, Fab, everyone confirming it. Debacle. Just goes to show you the state that we're in right now. Right, I guess we better get into the live chat and see what you legends are saying. Thank you, everyone, for getting in here. Appreciate that. I'll definitely be up for a cheeky collaboration, mate. He's actually been on my channel in the past, not speaking to me, but there was a fan cam on my channel once with Saeed on. Big up for coming on, lad. So yeah, I'll be definitely up for that, mate. Absolutely. Would I take Ramsdale? Nah, we need somebody better than that, mate. Come on, he's good. He's good, but he's kind of mediocre. He's a bit of an error-prone melt. I would say we can do better than that. Yeah, we can do better than that. I prefer the Emi Martinez link. You know my thoughts on Donnarumma. That's not going to happen. I'm just saying, my thoughts on him. These are the sorts of standards of goalkeepers we should be looking for. Not mid-table cannon fodder, mate. Yep, loads of clubs going for Delap. Absolutely. It's because it represents great value. You're getting a homegrown player. You're only risking 30 million. He's 22. You'll probably make a profit on him. Newcastle, Everton, United, Chelsea. Everyone wants a bit of Delap because he's excellent value for money, mate. There's no risk involved there. You know what I'm saying? Apparently Delap will be on big wages up to 200k and on a very long contract. Well done to steer clear. Mate, 200k for Delap? That can't be right, mate. If Chelsea are paying 200k, they're bigger mugs than I thought they were. 200k for Delap? That's preposterous. I would have thought he'd have been an 80k a week player. Stop going out of focus. I'd have thought he'd been an 80k a week player at best. That's quite ridiculous, isn't it? If that reports the case, but I'm not so sure about that, mate, to be fair. I think that's too much. Right, anyway, we're going to get into the live chat here, guys, for a bit of a Q&A. Big ups to the live chat legends. Thank you, everyone who's given us a little repost on X. Let's have a cheeky little look at the legends who've reposted us. We've had 10 reposts. Thank you so much to all you legends for sharing us around. Let's just shout you out real quick. Aidan Vickery, Kieran, John James Power, Ruddy, MUFC Brummy Reds, Vincent Bullock, Sanjay, LFC Minoda, and Aaron Homeyard. Big ups you legends for sharing it around. Thank you so much. Also, give us a thumbs up button. Smash. We are nearly at 150 likes. Hit the thumbs up if you're just getting in. Get yourself subscribed, and let's see what you guys got to say in the comments section here. Never wanted Delap. Chelsea actually helping us. Taking Scamcho and going for Delap. Delap is mediocre as fuck. I don't know if he's mediocre as fuck. He's just kind of young and unproven to a high level. He's just got relegated with Ipswich end of the day. But he has potential. 40% of Ipswich's goals came through Delap in some fashion, whether be it an assist or a goal in the season just gone by, which isn't saying much because they were gash. But he was that big of a player for them. He did well amidst a shite team. Exactly, yeah. Ewan says Palmer's not even on 200k, so that's not true. I can't imagine they'll pay him that much. That's just mental. Ivan Toney can't match Saudi wages, but struggling to think of another top striker. He's not going to leave the wages, is he? He wouldn't have gone over there in the first place to join that sort of a team if it wasn't just for money, if it wasn't just about the money for him. So I'm pretty sure he's not going anywhere. He'll be sucking at that Saudi teat for a good while, lad, and enjoying it. Oh, yeah. Go get Mbeumo or Mateta. I like your thoughts. Yeah, Mbeumo's a good one. I like Kluivert. I like Semenyo over at Bournemouth as well. You know, any of those sorts of forwards that can play across that front line would be nice. But we do need to focus on a number 9 primarily right now, I think, as well. I did see it, Fox and Beep. It was absolutely embarrassing, wasn't it, lad? Stephen says United are like neutered dogs. We got no balls. Unfortunately, it's true. Yeah, absolute nonsense. Delap is that kind of money. Absolute nonsense. Nah, I don't think he's getting on that kind of money. Probably half that at most, I'd say. I can't believe that report is true myself, no. Arsenal podcasters, Sterling's available. I'm sure he would love to come to Man United, complete the set. I just vomited a little bit in my mouth there, mate. But thank you so much for commenting that. Yorkshire Cowboy, yes, it's amazing how many people don't rate him, but how many clubs want Delap? Exactly. I mean, I liked what I saw from him this season. It's never like he was going to come in and be Ruud van Nistelrooy for us or anything, but as an addition to the squad, would have made a good second choice striker. Maybe that's the key, really. I don't know. Exactly. Delap is 22. He has a lot of time to improve. Isaac, maybe? Is that a serious comment? I mean, definitely Isaac would be wanted by us, 100%, but he's not going to want to come to us, mate, sadly. Thank you for subscribing there, Evelyn Saunders. Really appreciate you. Nice one for hitting the subscribe button. Let's be having you. Where are all the strikers in world football? You think Pep Ball killed the striker? Yeah, definitely, mate. The old-fashioned centre-forward is a thing of the past now, isn't it, mate? That's true. There's still some around, I suppose, but mostly, you're absolutely right. Palmer's on 80k a week. Yeah, fair enough then. There you go. Aidan says, what are the oddshot owners will set up a dozen or so exhibition friendlies next season in midweek to make up for lost European money. Oh, dude, don't even go there, lad. Don't even go there, mate. Didn't even think about anything like that. Nah, you can't be doing that, mate. That's craziness. I think it'd be better for everyone, seeing as we don't have the European football, just to focus, on the squad and get a tighter squad together with a few less melters in, and then obviously focus on managing that squad without midweek games. It's a sad thing, but I think it could be good for us in terms of every other competition. We'll be able to focus on the Premier League and the domestic cups a lot better and a lot easier in terms of on the pressure on the squad. So yeah, pretty good going, pretty good going if we could do that. Anyway, is Andy Carroll still about? It's not got quite that desperate just yet, mate. But he is still about, isn't he? Isn't he playing for like Marseille or something? In like, no, not Marseille. He's playing for somebody in like League 3 or something of France. Who is it? But he is, I think, mate. Fair play to him. Zayn Mias, he says, Vardy it could be. He has chosen one. Not even being funny, Zayn. If Vardy wanted to come to us and we actually wanted him, I would be happy about it, mate. Not as the number one choice, but as an addition to the squad. I've talked about this. Like, he could be like a Michael Owen type signing for us, just a cheeky little freebie, obviously at the tail end of his career. But if he pops up with a cheeky goal like Owen did against City that time, then it will have paid for itself, wouldn't it? And more than likely, he would add competition to the places. He'd also add vast experience. Surely that would be great for young players at the football club to learn and sort of look up to somebody like him, someone who's worked very hard in his career to achieve and is still doing it at his age, 38 years. I mean, that would be a pretty astute little piece of business, because it's no money really. Yeah, the wages might be a fair bit, but it's not a lot of money really. And I'm talking about as a third choice option. Like, Vardy has still scored a bunch of goals this season for Leicester amidst a struggling relegated season, but he could still score goals at the top of a Premier League side. He's proven that. So I'd have him as an option, maybe just third choice. Ideally, in my ideal world, we sell Rasmus Hojlund back to somewhere in Serie A. We sign Gyokeres, and then we get a couple of other goal scorers in there as well, just to add to the ranks. It'd be nice to get Vardy as a backup. It'd be nice to have, Mbeumo would be an excellent addition. So I'd be well up for that. Oh, sorry, it's Bordeaux, yeah. 10 goals in 21 games. Yeah, but it is like, isn't it like the fourth league or something in France? Or is it the third league? Bordeaux, that's it, Bordeaux. Yeah, isn't it the third league in France, though, guys? It's not League One, is it? It's like they've been like, they used to be, I swear Bordeaux used to be like a proper team in the top flight of France, but now they're just some melt job team, like in a bit of a Blackburn Rovers or something. You know what I mean? They have a proper drop-off there. Evan Ferguson can't score for Leicester, never mind United. Harsh. Leicester literally got relegated and were proper shite this season, so it's difficult, isn't it? Is Igalo still playing? That's a good question. You know, he was not that bad, but nah, come on. we got waiting for higher than that. Kate Cadet, how you getting on, my friend? Yes, Kate Cadet, good to see you, mate. What's going on? Kate Cadet says, the magic of Man United is gone, Piggy. Players know the club is a mess. They know it's a toxic environment. They don't want to come. Yeah, fair enough. That is also true. But I still think the biggest factor is the failure for us to win the Europa and get Champions League football. Like that in itself has cost us signing certain players like Liam Delap, for instance, because the draw of playing in the Champions League and hearing that music, the champions, is just too much for a lot of these players. So, of course, he wants to go to a side that's going to pay him well as well. That's going to come into it. But it's also about the enjoyment factor. Like, it's not very enjoyable at Man United right now. There's a lot of pressure and stress, and we're meme-worthy. Players, people can see that. So you're absolutely right about that thing. People can see the mess. People can see the toxic environment. People can see the struggles. They don't want any part of that, mate. That's definitely a factor. But if we were showing signs of progression, you know, if we could have had some European football next season, surely that would have been enough to just convince one or two players to come who otherwise wouldn't. But yeah, I understand your frustrations. Bordeaux in financial trouble. Yeah, isn't Andy Carroll actually playing for Bordeaux basically for nothing? Like, he's pretty much getting paid what a milkman gets paid to play football for them. Fair play to the lad. He's just doing that out of pure love, I think. You know, you got to say that is pretty cool. Bordeaux used to be one of France's elite sides. Yeah, same with Saint Etienne. That's right. Yeah. Never gonna get Gyokeres. Probably not, but we can dream, can't we? We've done stranger things than that. We've definitely done stranger things than that. Yep, there you go. Zidane came through from there, right? Yep. You think Sammy from Porto could be a good sign about 40 minutes as that attributes to playing an Amorim system? Good call. Yeah, there's certainly some players out there that could be poached from the old Portuguese league. Amorim's going to have a great knowledge of wealth in terms of the league. That's a fair point. Milkman gets more. French had a decent league until PSG were bought up by Qatar. Yeah. I mean, back in the 90s, it was good. I remember it in the 90s. It was quite good. I remember AS Monaco had a really good team. PSG obviously had a good team. Yeah, I think in fact, Monaco won the Champions League, didn't they? Pretty sure. Realistically, where do you think United finishes next season? I want top four, but realistically, probably like 8th or 7th. Yeah, I'm the same as you. I think 8th place is where we're going to end up, lad. Champions League no longer exists. It's now just a Super League. It's not the conventional Champions League. I prefer the old one for sure, yeah. If Arsenal sign Sesko, we still have a chance for Gyokeres. Very true, mate. Let's just hope that Arsenal don't want Gyokeres. If I was them, I would. But let's hope they sign someone else and Gyokeres is left for us to go and poach. But then again, even if Arsenal don't want him, there's still a chance that he goes to someone else who can offer him the Champions League. Hello there, Cough Punk. He says, hope you're well, Pig. Been streaming some old Don Piglioni career mode over the last few days. Oh, really? Goodness me. I should probably get on some of that, actually. We will get on some of that, career mode. I haven't played career mode for ages. We'll get on some of that over the summer because there's no European Euro Championships or World Cup or anything on this summer. So we'll get on some of that, lad. Nice one. Messi's contract's running out. You want a break? You only got 15 minutes left, so if anyone chats shit, you might need to dish out another mod or two, okay? Hey, that's absolutely fine, Cake Cadet Lad. Thank you very much for doing that. I'm only going to be on here for a little while longer anyway. Just going to read a bunch more of these comments out. Keep smashing the likes, guys. Help us get to 200 likes. Every little helps. And also, subscribe if you're new and have your say. Yeah, I'll just stick on for a few more minutes, see what you guys are saying. Just wanted to jump on and cover the news about Liam Delap, obviously joining Chelsea, it seems. Properly gashed, that is. And just, yeah, frustrated is the word. Let's read a few more out then. Marseille won the Champions League. Was it Marseille who won it? Was it not Monaco? Okay. Right, I've got those two mixed up then, yeah. That's it. We need to always divide two. Oh, that's it. 1993, yes. Was Patrice ever in that team? Or was he in the Monaco team? Getting confused. Marseille and Monaco and all the rest of it, mate. So many live streams, Piggy, you're spoiling us. She calls me Baz. Oh, it makes no sense, mate. It's down to the 80s or 70s, 80s motorcycle rider, Barry Sheen. I call her Sheen, she calls me Barry, but there's no real reason. We don't even really know Barry Sheen. We just heard it, and she started calling me Barry. And I started calling her Sheen. It's not a very interesting story. Yeah, definitely. We've got loads of content coming out, mate. Actually, in fact, tonight at 7 p.m, there's a premiere on the channel. Please come back here tonight at 7 p.m, guys, which is only in about 2 hours, because we've got another little cheeky video for you. It's a premiere of us ranking every single Manchester United player this season, from A to F. We always do this every single season. We rank every single player at the end of the season. So that's what we're doing at 7 o'clock, guys. It's a premiere on the channel right here at 7 p.m. tonight. So in 2 hours' time, come back and watch that with us, guys. That'd be awesome. And there's lots of content coming, though, mate. Absolutely. I'm going to be doing transfer news, little Timo Shafter comedy skits. There's going to be, obviously, watch-along still even. Just one more until, United are back in July. But one more tomorrow. Man United versus Hong Kong tomorrow lunchtime. Don't say that, Park and Warbeck, lad. If FIFA actually put effort in career mode, we would see a lot more of Don Piglioni. True, it's just the same old game. It always has been pretty much. How do you upgrade your membership? I think you have to click the money icon or the dollar icon down below, and you should have the option to do it there, but I'm not 100% lad. Zayn Miyasi with a super chat. Thank you, Zayn. He comments and he says, Big Trouble in Little China 2, Matrix 5, or Point Break 2. Breakpoint? Is that a tennis movie? I'm guessing you mean Point Break. Okay, so Big Trouble in Little China 2, Matrix 5 or Point Break. Honestly, out of those ones, I would go with Big Trouble in Little China 2. That sounds fun. Yeah. Maybe they could call it Little Trouble in Big China this time. I don't know, but I would go with that one, mate. The original's a classic with Kurt Russell and stuff, mate. Yeah, it's a banger. They could make a sequel out of that one, to be fair. Either way, gash comment from you there, Zane. But thank you very much for the super chat. Oh, yeah. Right. Yep, you bet you gave out some banging scores after the season we've had, Piggy. Definitely. You want to come and tune in and see what we gave them? Definitely, yeah. Prediction for the Hong Kong friendly? Pain. I can see us getting roughed up again, mate. Why not? We just got turned over by a bunch of, office workers. Might still play like Maguire. Yeah, there you go. Oh, really, Custom Spoons? Always down your way in Bournemouth Football delivering car parts. I do look out for you, mate. Maybe I'll see you around, Custom Spoons, lad. I don't often leave my house, but maybe you'll deliver me a car part or something one day, mate. Who knows? Yeah, that's true, isn't it, Travis? I'm the same, mate. I mean, there's obviously a couple of great sources you can rely on. You've got to say people like Ornstein, Fabrizio Romano, they're all good. But nobody gets it right 100% of the time, mate. You've also got to just wait until the clubs have actually reached these agreements, and the players, even then it's not done. Even then you've got to wait until the player's actually at the club, he signed the documents, and he stood next to the new manager, or next to the manager holding his new shirt. I did have my banana milkshake, mate. I felt ill this morning, though, lad. I went to McDonald's last night, got Mrs. P a little piece of McDonald's, and myself a McDonald's. I did get a banana milkshake. It was actually a bit shit. I'm disappointed in the milkshake. They handed it to me. It was full, but it was really light. Has anybody noticed this about McDonald's lately? Or maybe I just got a gash operator. But my McDonald's milkshake was really light and fluffy. It wasn't heavy and ice creamy like it usually is. Or, you know, it's like a light version of it. It was gash. It just wasn't really quite, it didn't hit like it used to, mate. It didn't have that ice cream consistency that I needed. You know, so I was very disappointed in it, actually. But other than that, I still got some chicken selects, a wrap of the day, a double cheeseburger. So, you know, but that's probably why I felt so rough this morning, mate. But anyway, I was gutted with the consistency of that banana milkshake, mate. It was a foamy one. Like, it was too light. It needed more density and more ice cream to it, you know? Yeah, true, United Neymar, but I still see his future lying at a number 10 role for us. But definitely, you know, we could definitely get these players and playing at number 9 if we need to. Xerxes another one. He could play at number 9, but it's not his ideal position. Our players need a break. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They're going to take our lunch money again tomorrow. These players at the beach already, the melts. Absolutely. Thick shake, utter woke, make your own milkshake. Good call. But has anybody noticed that, guys? Or is it just me being unlucky? McDonald's milkshake's usually essentially ice cream. That's what I'm saying, mate. It was like a real light, fluffy one. It was crap. It was really light, you know. The actual container was not heavy at all. Pissed me off. Yeah, oh, nice one, Aaron. Get in there, my son. Yes, lad. By the way, guys, we are going to be premiering this ranking every single Man United player season here tonight at 7. I'll put it in the live chat here again. Can you go here, ranking, yes, premiere. Oh, I'll just pin yours, actually, Aaron. Nice one, mate. It's easier. Yes, there it is. At the top of the live chat is a link to my premiere. It's going to be at 7 p.m. tonight, so in 2 hours' time, come back, everybody, and have a cheeky little look at the new video. It's going to be dropping at 7 p.m. Come and join us. And play along. It's an interactive video, this one, where you can get your rankings and stuff in there as well. Nice one. Yeah. Hey, Beats Guy, what's going on? It was difficult to drink, actually, mate. I must admit, it was difficult to drink because it was a bit too light and foamy, you know what I mean? Oh, good on you, lad. Yep. There you go. Thanks for the update. No worries, Sarua. Thank you, everyone. You reckon Delap destroyed his career? Maybe, mate. Who knows? I mean, he could go on and do good things there. Who knows? I still think he's young enough to gamble, isn't he? He's young enough to go there and play in some European football, get the experience, and, you know, it's not a bad move for him, to be fair. They're top 4 and just won a little Gash trophy, but certainly we're in a terrible position, so I can understand what's happened. Anyway, we're going to wrap up this video, but it is a steaming pile of gash. We've lost out on Liam Delap. Shows you where we're at as a football club. Absolutely gutting stuff, but it's not the end of the world. You know, it's not like Gyokeres has gone to Arsenal or something. That's going to really hurt if that happens. Hopefully we can get Gyokeres in and we turn our attentions to him. Amorim's got that relationship with him. Go and get Gyokeres right now. If not him, then we do need to make a big statement. An Osman type would be better than nothing, wouldn't it? We need some goals from somewhere. Come on, United, sort yourselves out. But we're in a stinker of a position where we can't convince the top talents to come anymore because we don't have Champions League football. I liked the chicken selects that I had, but, you know, it's hit or miss, isn't it, really? Nice one, Sigurda. Nice one. How you getting on, lad? Going to be interesting to follow the mental gymnastics from Ineos in this transfer window. You predicted bowl of word salad. 100%. 100%. Anyway, we're going to wrap this up. Yeah, thank you for getting in, though, Beats Guy. Feel free to watch it back, and thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Nice one, Cake. Absolutely, yeah. Nice one, Kevin. Get in there, Martin, Dave, and everybody else as well. Probably not Dave. This is what I was saying at the start of the show. From Liam Delap's perspective, it makes sense. We're going to leave it there, but thank you for tuning in, guys. Here is the link once again to the premiere in the chat there at 7 o'clock. See you there, folks. Anyway, that's it from me, and I'll see you on the next one. And remember, Piggy loves you. And also remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much. Get in there, you beauties. Thank you so much to all the patrons here for supporting the channel on patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. As a thank you, all you legends will be appearing on this outro list. Get in there. Once again, thank you to all the YouTube members, but one of the best ways you can support the channel is on patreon.com, so check it out. Patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. And once again, a big thank you to all the legends that do support the channel on Patreon.